Another important thing that people rake me over the coals for is our discussion about circumcision. And my contention is that we do circumcision because God said so. The rabbis tell us that the foreskin is disgusting and that this has a direct connection with the inability to be sensitive, that the foreskin on the member of the male actually creates a foreskin on the heart and makes it unable to be able to sense things as they truly are supposed to be. Like it or not, the creative elements of Jews would indicate that perhaps there is something to that, the fact that the Jewish people were creative in their intellectual endeavors all of this time, and now it's apparently changing. One of the reasons why it might be changing is because there are some Jewish people out there who are not circumcising their children, and this itself is causing an inability of the heart to discern. Maimonides says that if you're an emotional cripple, then your mind juices can't flow properly. You can't understand abstract and difficult concepts if you're not a master of your heart. And apparently, according to the rabbis, circumcision allows a man to be a master of his heart. You can say, well, what about the Gentile? Gentile's not obligated. Well, they'll have to find other ways. But it is true that if a Gentile wishes to be circumcised, he can circumcise. But the most important thing is to recognize this is a commandment for the Jews, and he wishes to do so as an option. There is no obligation for a Gentile to circumcise, and we don't promote it. But if a Gentile does circumcise, it does bring and bestow benefits even to that Gentile, according to the Talmud. So let me be clear. We do circumcision only because God said so. And for those of you out there who call me a pedophile, I don't do circumcisions. But we promote circumcision for children to be done the traditional way. And the traditional way has many benefits for them, not just because it's traditional, but because it is more practical. Just so happens to be that way. And one of the reasons why, for example, we circumcise a child at 8 days is because the vitamin K, the element necessary for clotting, first comes to the body when the child is in the 8th day. And that's why we don't do it beforehand. God has given us instructions to maximize the abilities of the child. And no, a person who circumcises will not be sexually dysfunctional. And no, the person who is circumcised will not be at a disadvantage. On the contrary, many of the medical studies indicate tremendous benefits to those who are circumcised, and for the most part, it is more beneficial. Those studies that deal with it say and conclude that the circumcision is best when it's done when it is a child. And that answers the question, why not leave it for later? The answer is, it's more beneficial when it's done as a child. The fact that he can have it as a choice. It's very painful then, and it's not as painful when you're a child. B, it brings more benefit physically, and C, some things have to be done based upon super rationality, beyond the rationale of the person. A covenant with God is super rational, and when we impose it on the child, we're saying that this is a connection to God that's not based upon thought. It's based upon a connection that is beyond understanding, that God has placed for us and wishes to transmit to our children, with our children. And that is a source of their blessings, not just physical blessings. There are physical benefits to circumcision, but spiritual blessings as well, as I've indicated, that the circumcision itself helps the discernment process. Circumcision itself helps in becoming a master of the emotion, and that allows for the intellectual juices to flow more naturally and to have more insight. And you're welcome to make an experiment on that, Mr. Tinwoods and Sandy. I'll let you have that as a possible field of study, but that's my response to you.